Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. And thank you to the many people, both visible and as well as behind the scenes, for curating this great event. I know a lot of hard work has gone into this over the past several weeks and months. Uh, I have the pleasure of moderating today's panel discussion, which is focused on AI and capital in Japan and really about bringing innovation across borders. My name is Eric Rowley. I serve as director at Alpha Square Group. As previewed, we're joined today by three unique and very special panelists. This includes Renee Lee, founder and CEO of Alpha Square Group, Dr. Stephen Shayev, managing director of Akkad Holdings, and Samir Mitten, founder and CEO of Dexterity. These guests bring notable expertise spanning really across many important categories: technology, entrepreneurship, asset allocation, and investing broadly. I'll now turn it over to our panelists for a brief self-introduction. Renee, perhaps we begin with you.
Sure. Thank you, Eric. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Renee. I'm the founder and CEO of Alpha Square Group. It's an honor to be here today. Appreciate Governor KOIKE, FinCity.Tokyo and the Tokyo Metropolitan Government for organizing this great forum, and welcome all of our fans who are making it today out of your busy schedule. By way of introduction, our company, Alpha Square, is a New York headquartered multifamily office and a global investment platform. We manage 2 billion AUM. We are built to serve some of the most sophisticated families and institutions across North America and Asia. From our office in New York and Tokyo, we do two things at highest level. We steward long-term, multi-generational capital, and we invested behind the defining technology shifts of our time and back the most ambitious founders. Some companies we have backed, including Anthropic, Databricks, Atoms, and very honored to host our portfolio company, Dexterity, joining us here on the panel today. In one sentence conclusion, Alpha Square Groups would love to work very closely with FinCity.Tokyo to build bridges between private capital and world-class founders, and between the United States and Asia and Japan. Thank you.
Dr. Shayev?
Well, first, I wanted to thank Eva, Renee, Alpha Square, and all the folks from Tokyo for having me here today. I especially wanted to thank my mother and my wife. I hope someone's recording this. My name is Stephen Shayev. I'm a family practice physician by trade. I've done 100 deliveries of babies in my career, albeit I did not deliver my 3 children, fortunately, 13, 11, and 9. My family owns a company called J&D Medical, started in 1996. Family-owned, privately held. My mother owns 100% of J&D today, so we say she's boss at home and at work. I'm sure many in this room could relate. But we have 19 different business enterprises. We run the gamut from medical distribution, where we sell everything that goes in a hospital, pharmacy, physician's office, supply equipment, pharmaceuticals, to specialty businesses like animal health. Our claim to fame is we're one of the largest third-party billers of consumable medical products to the homes in the United States. Diabetic supplies, wound care, ostomy, insulin pumps, continuous glucose monitors. We reach over 260 million people on the medical side today. We reach 170 million people on the pharmacy side today. We have a telehealth company. We do mental health screenings with children grades 6 through 12 in 14 states today. We're in 49 states. We're in 28 countries. Family business, get fired pretty regularly, but fortunately I have three grandchildren from my mother, so my saving grace. And I've set up my own family office in 2017. We're Iraqi Catholics. And the Akkadian Empire was one of the first empires in Mesopotamia. And so we're very mission-driven, people, purpose, pay it forward. But the thesis was to invest in opportunities that could leverage our global distribution channels. I won't get into all the different things we've done since 2017, but right now we're building a global pharma supply chain. We're very, very interested in working with folks from Japan because I think the the innovation around pharma is very underestimated in Japan. I think it's the companies I've met are excellent. Our meaning, our purpose, our why is to make healthcare as affordable and accessible to as many people as we can globally. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Shah. Samir?
Good afternoon, everyone. I really appreciate your time. Special thanks to Alpha Square Group, Renee and the team. We're very excited to have them join us as investors at Dexterity. But I'll start with a little bit of an introduction to me. I'm Samir Menon, founder, CEO of Dexterity. My background's been in AI and robotics. Did my PhD in computer science from Stanford. I've spent almost past 18 years trying to understand how humans move and how we can model human skills with our hands, use our models to transfer those skills into robots. And so we'd love to share a little bit of a perspective on AI as it pertains to robotics. We've seen a lot of progress recently in AI in the digital world, broadly starting with chatbots to now coding agents. And we've seen gigantic companies like OpenAI, Anthropic emerge with global impact. AI is a transformative technology. This is a once in our human civilization technology. It's going to be built once and it'll be done. And it's going to fundamentally change the way we operate. It's already changing the way we operate. On the digital side, there's been huge penetration, incredible growth, and digital AI still is locked inside the digital world. And so when we think about the future, there's an incredible opportunity coming up within the next few years. Take AI out of your cell phone, out of your computer screen, and put it in a robot that could be operating alongside you. Now, robots have been around for a long time. If you rewind the clock all the way back to 1985, maybe even the early 80s, late 70s, there were robots in manufacturing plants. But those robots were just precise robots that were incredibly good at doing things like welding on a manufacturing line, painting. Program them once, they do exactly the same thing again and again and again. And Japan has built some of the largest robot manufacturers in the world. There's an incredible industry over there. Still, robotics operates in a very limited precision automation market. That's about a $30 billion market. When we think about the future of what could happen when you combine AI and robotics, that $30 billion market could turn into a $30 trillion market. Could be the mother of all markets. That opportunity is incredible. As we think through the future, Dexterity was founded with the idea of creating a physical AI, an AI that connects with machines that work safely alongside us. It's our mission to empower humanity by taking a lot of the dull, dirty, dangerous, laborious, drudgery and giving it to robots and allowing robots to be smart enough to do those tasks at a high degree of safety, a high degree of quality, excellent workmanship. And it's fantastic to see how physical AI is progressing. Dexterity has gone from zero to being in production across 15 sites, the US, Japan, Singapore. We work with some of the largest customers. The US publicly announced it through FedEx. In Japan, we've got an excellent relationship with Sagawa, which is kind of like the FedEx of Japan. We're really, really excited about the future. Love to share our excitement with you. You've seen digital AI explode, and over the next few years, you're going to see physical AI hopefully touch your lives. So thank you for the opportunity to be here. I'm very excited to share our story.
Thank you, Samir. Thank you all. So to begin, I think we'd like to first ground the conversation in one of the most important sort of components of today's topic, which is collaboration with Japan. And a few of you have touched on this already, but I expect each of you brings a very unique perspective to this. So let's start here. When you think about Japan and maybe specifically Tokyo, what areas of collaboration are most interesting to you? Samir, we'll start with you. You just mentioned that connection between AI and robotics and perhaps the market opportunities that it opens. How are you thinking about collaboration with Japan?
So I think Japan is just an amazing place. Tokyo is one of my favorite cities in the world. I love going there. I went there, I think, about 3 times in the past year. Going there again next month. Japan has built an incredible ecosystem of hardware manufacturing, very, very high quality. dexterity. It's got a strong relationship with amazing conglomerates in Japan. These are companies like Kawasaki. We got a joint venture out there with Sumitomo Corporation, one of the very well regarded, the oldest companies in the world. And the way I see the future is the US is taking a lead in AI. Silicon Valley is a hotbed of innovation. Literally every week we see some new innovation in AI. It's progressing so fast, we can barely keep up. But this AI, if it needs to go into the physical world, it's got to be transferred into robots. And this is a strength that Japan has built over decades of careful engineering. So when we look at Japan, there's two ways in which we are very, very excited about it. One is work alongside digital and AI development efforts in the US to merge AI and machine. And we work very closely with the manufacturing ecosystem over there to bring this technology out to the real world. We've built robots in collaboration with Kawasaki that are out in departed warehouses in the US shipping product. There's the manufacturing base, which is an excellent relationship between Japan and the US, has allowed us to leverage that manufacturing base and take AI into robots. And two, Japan's an incredible market. It's an aging country. People are getting older. There often makes labor shortages. For a long time, the economy did not know what inflation was. Now they have inflation. They're realizing at some point of time, we're going to have to rely on robots to make our lives better. So when we think about it, there's an incredible market opportunity, there's an incredible manufacturing opportunity, and these are two allied countries that can work together to bring physical AI to human civilization. I think it's going to be great.
Wonderful. Thank you. Renee, we'll not get here for you, how you think about your collaboration.
Yeah, of course. And same as you, Samir, and Japan, Tokyo is definitely one of my favorite cities. It's amazing, and I love to traveling there to enjoy the environment and food and everything. And yeah, I think three-fourths about our collaboration. We see Japan, Tokyo definitely is our most important strategic place, and that's why we opened the first office outside of US in Tokyo last year October with the help from FinCity.Tokyo. Thank you so much. And then secondly, I think Samir mentioned this a lot, is our AI founders, because we invested a lot of frontier technology companies across North America and Asia. And our AI founder definitely see Japan as the most attractive place to extend their international business in Asia. And secondly, after many years, we build a relationship in locally Japan, like for example, like Tokyo. Many of amazing and powerful corporate in Japan, they also try to have some access to the U.S. AI or technology frontier technology companies, not only as passive investors, but more as a partner. And lastly, one thing I observe from our family offices community, since I run a multi-family office, so we have about like 500 family offices globally in our network, and many investors from either from Europe or North American, they wanted to find out more about what really Japan can offer to them for their investment in asset allocation perspective. So last year, ASG, we helped one of our very good friend is also a big family office from Japan. We helped them to organize a seminar in New York City with 50 different family offices here, and they just try to give a roadshow about what they can offer in investment opportunity in Japan. So I see that is definitely open another door to the investors here in New York City. So I think from that three-fourths, we see very deeply collaborations between US and Japan. Thanks.
Thank you, Renee. Dr. Shaya, very curious to hear from you, given that you have preferred operating side to your business, but also an investment asset allocation side. How do you think about collaboration broadly with Japan and specifically Tokyo?
well, I'm going to talk about the operating side for this one. And then, so Samir alluded to the some factors, the demographics, the workforce shortages, the rising costs. In many ways, Japan's healthcare is kind of ahead of or experiencing many problems faster than other countries around the world. That leads to tremendous opportunities. To me, I see Japan as a living laboratory for healthcare innovation because they're experiencing many issues that all these modern economies around the world are experiencing and going to experience, but Japan is ahead of the curve. So I think there's tremendous opportunities because of the strong universities, the strong research there, the incredible people and companies. Now, I look at it also from a very personal level. I'm a physician. I always thought about assertive leadership. I have not been to Japan yet. I do want to go there, and I want to buy a ton of swords, so maybe someone could help me some point here. But, I spent a lot of time with many Japanese folks, and I think culturally there are a lot of similarities. As a physician, I want to serve. I always think of the samurai, and it's one to serve. That's what it means in English. So there's a lot of cultural similarities. I think the biggest opportunity is healthcare. To me, is very personal. At the end of the day, it's someone's mother, father, brother, sister, grandma, grandpa. And one of the things that I learned spending time with many Japanese folks over the years is they're very much about trust and building it, over time. And I think that's very, very important in healthcare. I think, and I think there's tremendous opportunities with value alignment, tremendous opportunities because of demographics, tremendous opportunities for the resources there to get lessons learned and export them to other places. And I think that's tremendously underutilized today. And I see that as a credible opportunity.
Thank you, Dr. Shah. I want to transition just a bit and come back to you, Samir. We talked a lot about the opportunities that are available and what is exciting to each of you specifically. I want to talk about how to do this successfully. Samir, from a founder, operator, CEO, hat, you built a joint venture with Sumitomo. You talked about your relationships with Kawasaki. You have actively today real life working in warehouses in country. Yeah, I'd love to talk about what it actually took to accomplish that, and if there's other startup founders or company founders in the crowd today, what would you tell them if they are considering, actively entering Japan?
And start by saying Japan has many advantages in that economically, the system is very well aligned with the US. You've got excellent trade relationships. You've got strong connective tissue. There's very strong IP protections. The country has embraced technology throughout its history. There's a very positive view of technology with pretty much everyone we've talked to at Japan. So as a startup, when we think about doing business internationally, we want to make sure that a geopolitical alignment is great. We want to make sure that it's easy to do business. And we want to really understand the types of relationships that we can build that would allow us to be very, very successful. As a business owner now, and having done this for many years, I found great business is built by great people, by great relationships, and that's where it starts. Once we went in there, we went to Japan, we opened an office, we hired the head of Japan in our office. We ended up building excellent relationships with Kawasaki, with Sumitomo very rapidly. The goal was very clear for us, and having a goal that is very clear and so transformative. I mean, just imagine you have AI connecting with robots. Got the same robots for 40 years. They've been going out welding, doing the same welding thing again and again and again. And now you can take those robots out of that vending line, and they could be making pizza or loading a truck or helping get your baggage out of the plane. I travel a lot. My bag wheel always gets broken, so that's been a pet peeve. I want robots to gently pick up my bag. So there's so many opportunities. So you drive in the opportunity, you build relationships with people, you find the right partners who would take a strategic view, a long-term view, who are going to work with you over years. because it is going to take few years. You can't just walk into a new country and have a business pop open in 2 days. So we built those relationships, we invested the time, we cultivated customers, we won their trust, and that's really reaped dividends for us. Today, we've got a strong commercial relationship with Sadawa. This is one of the excellent e-commerce parcel distribution companies over there. We've engaged our team to bring technology to Japan. I think it's going to be a great win for the United States. I think it's going to be a great win for Japan. And I think it's going to be a great win for humanity if at the end of the day, we get AI tightly integrated with robots so that robots can operate safely alongside us. 10 years from now, we might have robots in this room.
Thank you. Dr. Shaya, a moment ago, you talked about the opportunities more from the operating side of your business. From the family office asset allocator side, how do you think about the opportunities today? I think that there's perhaps many global family offices, global asset allocators that are thinking about or viewing Japan today very differently than even 5 or 10 years ago. How do you think about it as a, source of innovation or investment destination from the asset allocator side?
So through the family office, we're building a whole pharma supply chain independent of China and India. We saw during COVID, the global supply chain was a proverbial 8-track tape, and we want to make it a proverbial iPhone. As part of that, we are scouring the world for opportunities to invest in that we could bring to the U.S. The thing about Japan, the companies, the people, they're the highest quality, highest quality products they come up with, and the valuations are very reasonable. So I think there's a tremendous opportunity to invest in Japanese pharma and bring it to the U.S. because the minute that you get it plugged into, not only the regulatory, getting it through the FDA, but plug it into distribution, the company's worth exponentially more. I think there's a massive arbitrage and opportunity there. So one of the things we're going to deploy very large sums of capital into companies that are doing active pharmaceutical ingredients, which are like the chips for pharma. They're the active components of pharma, and many things around biotech and life sciences. So I think there's a tremendous opportunity. Now, one thing I want to share with you guys, you guys mentioned AI. Okay, let me give you a real life example of AI and how it's changing the world, particularly in healthcare. In 70 years, we characterized 260,000 molecules, okay, in 70 years. Demis Hassabis, who's the head of Google AI, he developed something called AlphaFold 3. And in 1 year, we were able to characterize 260 million protein structures. 1 year, 1,000-fold increase in throughput. So in 2024, he won the Nobel Prize for Chemistry. But you can imagine from the opportunity for medical breakthroughs and innovation are staggering. So I think it's very important to develop these partnerships globally. And I've been extremely impressed with not only the quality of products, particularly in our case, biotech, life sciences, but more importantly, the quality of the people and the character of people. And no offense to any other country, but that's not the case in many places. So it's something very important to my family.
Thank you, Dr. Shaya. Stepping back for a moment, and I think this is perhaps a good segue to broaden the scope a bit and just talk AI. I would imagine that this is on the minds of most, if not all, people in the room today. I'd like to ask the panelists, where do you think we are today in the AI cycle? I think, some may argue still early in the R&Ds or development stage. As Dr. Shaya pointed out, there's been these tremendous breakthroughs. Perhaps I'll go back to you, Samir. Where do you think we are today in the broader AI cycle?
I'll start by sharing a little bit of an anecdote. I started my PhD in computer science doing AI at Stanford in 2009. In 2009, we started to see glimpses of AI development. We had the first autonomous cars driving. There was a challenge organized by DARPA where one of the Stanford cars actually drove this challenge course. You went through in there 3 levels of it. was off-road, then it was like a quasi-city. And with a lot of new technologies, oftentimes the build happens 10 years before you see it. It's not like you just turn it on one day and it's like great. There's a lot of effort that under the surface, it's cooking. It's cooking. It's a slow cook. And it explodes on the scene. I personally had taken a very conservative view, even though I was literally sitting alongside the people building AI. A lot of it actually got built at Stanford. And over the years, it takes, I think it's difficult for the human brain to comprehend the speed at which this technology is evolving. There's a critical momentum that it hits, and it just takes off exponentially. And there's a very nice little cartoon where, there's this burn and it's slowly building, and it starts rising. And once it gets to a certain point, people start noticing. They're like, oh, that's so dumb. It's so silly. It like can't even spell caterpillar right. But at the same time, it's a super genius and it's solving new proteins and mathematical equations, or powering robots and figuring out your medical schedule. And it's rising. And, 4 months later, you suddenly realize, wow, it's like pretty good. It's like, now it's not Big Eco's mistakes anymore. And I can trust her to sort by email now. I can trust her to unite email drafts. It's suddenly it's rising. And suddenly you just get this realization, this is incredible. This is just going to be superhuman in a way that we cannot comprehend. And I don't even know if as a civilization, human civilizations are equipped to really deal with the advent of AI. If we rewind back thousands of years, we invented the wheel and we were like the longest endurance walkers on Earth. We had like mobility, we lost that. The Industrial Revolution, we lost a skillful craftsmanship. We had the modern era where we lost sort of numerical arithmetic to calculators. Then we lost long rise and algorithmic reasoning to computers. Now we've lost art, we've lost language, and we've lost knowledge in a span of 5 years. That is just crazy if you think about it. If you really think about what's left here, there's decision-making, maybe executive decision-making, long horizon like visionary part, and that's about it. Everything else is going to go to the machine sooner or later. Today it's in the digital world, it's locked up in your cell phone and your laptop. Tomorrow it'll be out in robots. How are we going to manage this? Nobody knows. But what it does offer us is the vision of where if we do it well, if we do it in a way where we have safety first in the mind, where we harness it in a way that covers humanity, it is going to be a transformative event that we cannot imagine. I just feel so privileged to have lived through a point of time that I was a kid. We didn't even have a telephone. I mean, we barely had electricity. And now we've gone from that to having a computer, to having the internet, to having cell phones, to having technology, modern biotech, and AI. And we've been on the other side of it within a few years. And it's such a journey. It's a privilege time to be alive, but it is happening. For me, there was a critical unlock around February of this year. Around February of this year, 2 things happened. With Dexterity, we have been working on what we call world models. World models are, if I close my eyes, I think about the world around me. I can have an executive overview, physical intelligence that could reason about the world at large. It's I talked about AlphaFold. There was a similar program to AlphaFold called AlphaZero, which actually play Ace. In a sense, we're playing a game with physics and with each other. So you can think about that as an AI that can reason 50, 100, 200 steps ahead. It can take through all the interactions that you can have with people. And imagine downloading that into a robot and just turning it on. And we did end up doing that in February. It was just incredible. It was at FedEx. The robots were loading trucks, which is one of the massive commercial potential applications there. And it just like these. FedEx organized a public investor day where they invited their investors to come and see it, hundreds of them. 8 hours of continuous running and just loaded trucks and people are invest with it. And I was like, wow, this is it. Like sometimes you yourself don't realize like you crossed the line, but we did. In parallel, digitally across the line, OpenAI and Anthropic today have AI models that are arguably state-of-the-art and they're better programmers than any programmer on earth. It is a extremely good thing to do. It just happened months ago. Sometimes you wake up and you pitch yourself, this is real. So this is happening. It's happening now. Go talk to any expert in the world. They would tell you how transformative it is going to be. The rest of the world is a huge market opportunity. Done right, huge positive impact on us all. Like there are going to be many trillion-dollar companies that are going to come out of this. I don't even know what it's going to be like by 2 years from now. I don't know what to tell my kids. I want an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old. And I just want to watch I teach. So, but this is a great joy. It's a great pleasure. It's an honor to live through human civilization up to side. And I think before I'm gone, I'll have seen the advent of AI full blown.
I couldn't agree more. And I know at ASG, we certainly try our best to keep up with the innovation cycles. It's a daily struggle to stay afloat and understand all the developments. Dr. Shaya, you mentioned some of the breakthroughs that you witnessed and are paying attention to, primarily healthcare and pharmaceuticals, biotech. From a broad perspective, how are you kind of aiming the AI cycle today, and perhaps from an investment perspective, how are you thinking about the asset allocation?
The world is changing rapidly. So the Fortune 500 started in 1946. So from 1946 to 2000, the average shelf life of a Fortune 500 company was 46 years. Today, it's under 10 years. So the world is changing rapidly. We've had our company, we've had 10 to 30% growth for 19 years straight. And now we have to change our thinking. Our mantra now is think big, think bigger. You can't do anything incremental anymore because of AI, because, the way the world is changing so rapidly. And so the companies, I don't know where we're at in the cycle exactly, because every time I think I'm getting my arms around this, there's some new crazy frontier that comes up. I just read robotics by 2050 is going to be a $50 trillion market. And it's unbelievable. But what I can tell you is the companies then that not only, embrace AI, but make it part of their everyday, are the ones that are going to thrive and survive. And the ones that don't are probably not going to be around. So I can tell you that the mentality is changing in our company. We have 2,000 employees. Now we can cut, almost 30% of our workforce because all the medical cycle revenue, management process we could do via AI. So there's a lot of questions we have to answer. We're implementing that, but then what do you do with the rest of the employees? So that creates a lot of questions. And so the best way I like to frame it is right now you're flying and building an airplane at the same time. Anyone that thinks where you're flying to is lying to you. You have to be nimble. You have to be agile, and think big, think bigger.
Thank you.
Amen. Hallelujah.
Very well said. Renee, I want to come back to you and
Oh, yeah, sure. So due to the time limitation, I just want to share some numbers as an investor. So in the last 2 years, we see all the capital flow into the large language model or AI infrastructure. But now we see the money is a flow to compute, energy, and increasingly in robotic. And the value is shifting from models themselves to deployment, and who actually gets AI working inside real enterprise and the physical world. So let me share one number behind why we believe this wave is different. Pat Greeley from Sequoia made a math work really well. He said the cloud transition was fundamentally a software's story, and the software market is roughly between 650 to 750 billion, and the cloud ended up being about 400 billion opportunity within that. But AI is different. For the first time, a technology wave is addressing not just the software budget and a service revenue as well. And so, for example, take a legal service as example. In United States alone, that's a 400 billion market. Only one vertical in one geographic, and nearly the size of entire global cloud market. And we're truly excited about this generational opportunity. Thank you.
thank you, Renee. We've covered a lot of ground today. I think, unfortunately, we are out of time. I would like to thank you all for joining us today. As previewed, I believe there'll be a great reception later for networking and conversation if you'd like to find any of our panelists and continue the discussion. And then finally, I'd like to thank our three panelists, Renee, Dr. Shaya, Samir. Thank you for being so generous with your time and your insights. Please join me in thanking our guests today.
And we now come to a very special moment in today's program. And it is our great honor to welcome Governor KOIKE Yuriko of Tokyo for fireside chat on Tokyo's vision as a global financial city, its commitment to sustainable growth, and the opportunities ahead. And she will be joined in conversation by Ms. Yamaguchi, Senior Advisor to FinCity.Tokyo. And please welcome both of them. Message.
Good afternoon, everyone. Hello? Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome. It's my great pleasure to introduce Governor KOIKE. Governor KOIKE is one of the Japan's most influential political leaders. Throughout her distinguished career, she had broken out numerous barriers, becoming the Japan's first defense minister of defense and the first woman to serve at the Tokyo government. Now, in her third term, she has spent the past decade shaping Tokyo, strengthening its global effectiveness, promoting sustainable finance and innovation, positioning the city as one leading city of the financial sector. So, Governor KOIKE, welcome to New York. As drawing on your decade of leadership, how would you describe Tokyo's unique strengths and complete advantage compared with other global financial cities such as London, New York, Singapore, Hong Kong? Well, hello. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for the wonderful introduction of myself. But before go into to answer your question, I'd like to introduce omiyage from Tokyo. This uchiwa. Yeah. Yes. Because I heard it's 100 Fahrenheit. Yes. ASAP. So I think this is the best omiyage. And you need energy. Yes. And this towel, if you just soak into the ordinary water and wrap it around your neck, and you feel much, much cool. So please enjoy. To omiyage. Now, I'd like to answer your question about their power, strength, the Tokyo's top. And strength of Tokyo can be distilled into two core qualities. One, resilience and flexibility. Even amid the profound volatility of today's world, Tokyo continues to demonstrate steadfast resilience and coupled with remarkable flexibility or adaptability. And Tokyo, Japan has time and again transformed the past crisis, many crises, into opportunities, fostering the emergence of new technologies and fresh avenues for investment.
And building on the global energy crisis triggered by conflict in the Hormuz, Strait of Hormuz this time, Tokyo now operates 150 buses running on hydrogen, already 160 fuel cell taxis powered by hydrogen are in service. And the number is scheduled to increase to 600 by 2030. Energy problem is one of the national, most important national issues. So we are now challenging hydrogen. And due to abnormal weather conditions, damage from heavy rainfall is increasing in many parts of the world, here in New York and everywhere in the world. And Tokyo, home to 14 million people, as you might know, has built massive underground regulating reservoirs below the city, similar to a metro subway. And these reservoirs temporarily store rainwater and help prevent flooding. And by constructing reservoirs at 30 locations on 14 rivers, each, each about to 12.5 meters in diameter and located roughly 40 meters underground. So the total amount of flood damage has been reduced by half over the past decade. And in terms of earthquake countermeasures, efforts such as making water and sewer pipelines underground, earthquake resistance have progressed very much, and more than 90% of houses are now earthquake resistant. In addition, the water leakage rate is only 3%. This is the lowest in the world. And these technological capabilities are major strengths of Tokyo and of Japan. And in Tokyo, which aims to achieve carbon neutrality of solar power systems on newly built homes, has been made mandatory since last April. And thanks to technological innovation, a new type of solar power system called air solar, very thin, lightweight, and flexible, so that it can be installed not only on residential roofs, but also on walls and windows, or maybe on your house. And it has now been exactly 10 years. You had introduced me as this is my third term. And since I assumed the post of the governorship, when I took office, one of the first things I set about doing was issuing Japan's first municipal green bonds. I hosted United Nations Environment Program Finance Service Finance Initiative we call UNEP-FI while serving as a Minister of the Environment about 2003 and before entering politics. And I was maybe some of you might know that I was a newscaster before entering the world of politics, and I was the presenter of the TV Tokyo program World Business Satellite. And through these experiences, I have come to understand that the finance is an effective tool for addressing social challenges, and that financial capital can powerfully drive technological innovation and the dissemination of new systems. So recently, we issued the world's first internationally certified resilience bond and have been building a framework that harnesses the power of finance to support urban resilience and growth. So Tokyo's strength can be summarized in three pillars. First, its technological capabilities that underpin manufacturing. And second, its ability to implement and realize these capabilities. And third, its financial prowess that drives them forward. And I also would like to add three more keywords. That is democracy, rule of law, and freedom of speech. So altogether, 3 plus 3, altogether 6. These 6 strengths are especially prominent in Asia. If I may add one more, it would be the fact that you can enjoy great food at reasonable prices. And cannot agree more. Well, right before this session, I was talking to investors, there's so much dry powder. That's not return. Now you mentioned about the abuse bubble on some literacy, let's be talking. Thank you. So let's come to you talk about financial market. You mentioned about importance financial market to support Tokyo youth. Looking ahead, is there room for you to consider any more tax incentive or regulatory measures to encourage more overseas investors to have a footprint in Tokyo or invest more in Tokyo? Yes, good question. And to our investors and asset management partners, I would like you to spend less time on regulations and procedures and instead focus your resources on investing in work sectors and creating long-term value. And accordingly, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government, TMG, has been working in collaboration with FinCity. Thank you very much for your effort. And FinCity.Tokyo to provide corporate information in English to overseas investors and asset management firms, while also channeling their views and requests into policy recommendations to the APOs, have led to reform that make it easier to conduct business in Tokyo, including the relaxations of tax conditions and the simplification of procedures for domestic fund investments. So we are now also promoting the full one-stop provision in English of procedures for establishing foreign companies, as well as providing continuous lifestyle support, while at the same time enhancing Tokyo's international educational environment.
Well, it seems like Tokyo is also strengthening support for the daily lives of international residents. Let me turn into the area of the talent. How do you see the challenge of the attracting and retaining top talent for Tokyo to achieve your goal to be a global financial leaders? And then, in addition, do you see the recent AI argument at the positive dynamic for Tokyo?
Okay, that's that. It's a question, third question, right? Yes.
Yeah, talent and AI.
Talent and AI is a very new question. And generative AI is exerting a powerful influence across wide range of fields. However, this does not mean that everything will be immediately replaced by AI. And ultimately, the true driving force behind Tokyo's dynamism is its people. And for Tokyo to grow into one of the world's leading asset management hubs, it is essential to continuously develop highly skilled financial professionals who can perform at a global level. So Tokyo is working toward becoming a sustainable and resilient city where talent is attracted, nurtured, and empowered to keep taking on new challenges. And Tokyo is a home to critical mass of financial institutions, universities, research organizations, and technology companies and startups, fostering a rich exchange of diverse expertise. And these strengths are underpinned
by an investment ecosystem that connects such capabilities with growth capital. To further enhance these strengths, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government, in collaboration with FinCity Tokyo, is fostering emerging asset management firms, and through the promotion of the Emerging Managers Program (EMP), managers and connecting distinctive asset managers with the institutional investors in Japan and abroad. So the TFG is also developing experts who support asset management in areas such as data analytics, international legal affairs, and compliances. As we advance on two fronts, developing human resources and attracting players from overseas, we will turn Tokyo into a city where people who drive the flow of global capital gathering grow and boldly take on new challenges. So now I'd like to say something different. Tokyo currently has 187 metropolitan high schools, and 15 of them which are technical high schools and provide technology-oriented education. The curriculum of at these schools is now being reviewed because in a society transformed by generative AI, we must reconsider what to teach in order to cultivate truly indispensable talent. And by anticipating future needs for human resources, we will foster the next generation of people who will lead the future.
Thank you. So rather than just trying to get the outside resource to Japan, also try to foster the personal have you can handle AI and asset management internal. It's wonderful. Let's switch the gears to talk about Japan's startup ecosystem. Many overseas venture capital and private equity investors have cited limited exit opportunity in Japanese market, which is a key barrier for them to invest Japanese startups. What steps are you taking to improve exit opportunity and make Japan's startup ecosystem more attractive for global investors?
Okay, Tokyo is developing an ecosystem that consistently supports the startups at every stage, from early growth through scale-up, global expansion, and exit strategies. At the heart of these efforts are Sushi Tech. You know about Sushi Tech? It's not a cookie. It's sushi. No, it's an abbreviation of sustainability through high tech. So SUS and HI make good sushi, right? You had said. Anyway, the Sushi Tech Tokyo is a very popular startup conference, and it's almost the biggest in the Asia. And also we have high なんだっけ TIB, Tokyo Innovation Base, where many startups gather and inspire each other. And also we invite investors to invest their capital to those startups. So those embodies Tokyo's unique initiative to harness technology to realize sustainable cities and societies. And this year, more than 60,000 people from 103 countries and regions took part, and over 790 startups exhibited. In addition, TIB, which I just as a Tokyo Innovation Phase, welcome over 450,000 visitors from Japan and abroad, and hosts even every day that energize the business community. And Tokyo is home to promising startups across a wide range of fields, including AI, life sciences, nuclear fusion, and space business and agri-techs, like Obishi, And Sushi Tech Global, a new initiative to support their scale-up, has also been launched. Now, we have on display a range of products designed to help people cope with heat waves. And we are experiencing, including this and this and you Americans do not use much underwear. Yeah. Well, really, but this is new products. Switch どこか。Yes. You know, this is for heat waves. Some holes, the very cool wind comes up. So there's a small water down there and then sending me a cool air. Would you like to pass? Yes. Very analog type. But it's very effective at it. And so our corporate apply this process of a fund where we'll provide seamless support before and after IPOs so that the corporate value of this year's most promising startups can be further enhanced. Are you going to sell the umbrella in New York as well? Or is they will hunt it in me outside? Maybe. Yeah. Joke aside, one looking forward to the progress of the new Tosova fund. America's legal system. Yes, I did. Back to the previous topic of the AI, Tokyo plan to balance green transformation called GX, like with the economic growth. In particular, how is the city preparing its infrastructure to address long-term challenges caused by the natural disaster and climate change, while supporting the increasing demand, the energy demand for the emitters? Well, this is a new agenda, I think. And as I told you, I have served as a minister of environment and also the minister of defense. So climate change is a security issue, I think, in and of itself, and power struggles over the Arctic and the loss of territory due to the sea level rise are already becoming a reality. So the number of environmental refugees who are forced to leave their homes because of massive flooding is also increasing every year. So before becoming governor, I therefore established a new field of study called climate security and taught it as a visiting professor at a graduate school. And generally speaking, environmental experts are not very much interested in security issues, while defense specialists tend to regard environmental problems as a niche academic discipline. Don't you think so? However, without addressing both in an integrated way, we cannot achieve a sustainable world. In recent years, the rapid spread of generative AI has led to a growing demand for electricity, especially from data centers. And from now on, securing energy supply and building resilient urban infrastructure will be essential conditions for any trustworthy financial sector or innovation hub. And we are also working on a public-private partnership funds to promote the development of urban data centers that are environmentally friendly. A leveraging capital funded by the Tokyo Metropolitan Government as a catalyst, the
we will further support the development environmentally conscious data centers. As one of the funding sources of for urban resilience, we have issued a Tokyo Resilience Bond totaling 630 million US dollars and are using the proceeds to improve this earthquake and flood resistance of river facilities, construct large underground regulating reservoirs and seawalls, and advance the undergrounding of utility cables. Through these initiatives, we will realize road decarbonization and resilience in an integrated manner across the entire metropolitan area.
I think well, in Japan, traditionalists tend to be the people think there's sectionalism issues in social work. Yeah, very divisional. Thank you, but like you have the cross division and we had an experience not probably help Tokyo and your past experience retreats in Tokyo to think about in this current state. It's great.
Yeah, I think compared to Kasumigaseki, where the national government are located, TMG is more flexible. And the division is the sectionalism, or I should say, the difference of the sections, more flexible than the national government. And I would like to tell at this special occasion, the world now stands at the threshold to a profound change, and Tokyo too is in the midst of dramatic transformation. As we break free from 3 decades of stagnation and move toward an economy with positive interest rates, corporate governance reforms are drawing renewed attention to the growth potential of Japanese companies. And this month marks exactly 10 years since I took office as governor. As I told you before, I have advanced the Tokyo Metropolitan Administration by viewing the environment, the economy, and finance as an integrated whole. By further fostering innovation, we have been transforming Tokyo into a more sustainable and resilient city. Over the past 10 years, in the very midst of the COVID-19 pandemic, we successfully held the Tokyo 2020 Olympic and Paralympic Games in a safe manner. And Tokyo's COVID-19 mortality rate per 1 million people in Tokyo was a second lowest in the world after New Zealand, and the lowest in all of Japan. We have 14 million population, but we are the lowest. And over this decade, we transformed the awareness and behavior of men working in Tokyo, raising their children as a childcare leap uptake rate from 4.5% solo to 61.2%. So it's a drastic change. And as a consequence, for the first time in 10 years, the number of births in Tokyo has increased. So it's a very big change. The number of female entrepreneurs has doubled over the same period. And by promoting green transformation and digital transformation, there is no longer any need to affix personal seals or corporate seals when submitting applications or registrations to the Tokyo Metropolitan Government, nor is there any need to come to the Metropolitan Government offices in person. But please come and enjoy some tea at the Metropolitan office. Our Stardust Conference has grown over the past 4 years to
become one of the largest in Asia, as I told you. And we look forward to see the fruits that will emerge from it. As complex and far-reaching as it is, the railway network runs with almost miraculous punctuality every day. Of course, even before my tenure as a governor. And compared to 10 years ago, the number of homes flooded by typhoons and other disasters fallen to just a fraction of what it once was. And predicted damage from earthquakes has also been dramatically reduced from earlier estimates. Maybe many of you have worked in Tokyo and felt that many difficulties and or how can I say red tapes. But I think that's your memory. Your memory has to be renewed. So, and Tokyo is more than just a forest of skyscrapers. In areas such as the Taba region, forests cover around 40% of Tokyo. Can you imagine? And over the past decade, steady efforts have been made to strengthen this green lung of the metropolis. In the same 10 years, however, the Minister of Agriculture, who is also in charge of forestry, has changed 13 times in 10 years. And the country has seen 5 different prime ministers. Today, the Prime Minister, Finance Minister, and I myself, Governor of Tokyo, are all women. Can you imagine? Now, Japan is in the midst of change, and Tokyo will continue to evolve, as well as Japan. And I hope you will come to Tokyo and work together to be a witness to that historical transformation. So please hop to Tokyo. Well,
Thank you very much, Claudia. And then that's such a pleasure to have you. True pleasure having you. Thank you.
thank you very much.
We'll take a very quick moment to sit down and recuperate. But that was really, really wonderful and impressive. And during the panel, I'm constantly getting messages to say that Governor KOIKE is so impressive. And we wish that you enjoyed the fireside chat thoroughly. And so, with that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll ask you to kindly sit down and then also once again in thanking Governor KOIKE and Ms. Yamaguchi for such a wonderful, inspiring conversation. And let's now turn to a special announcement about FinCity.Tokyo Global Forum and FinCity.Tokyo's flagship events taking place here in New York and this October. So let's welcome Ms. Oyama and Deputy Secretary General of FinCity.Tokyo to share more about the upcoming forum. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, everyone. My name is Oyama from FinCity.Tokyo. And on behalf of our team, thank you again for joining us today. So I know the Argentina-England match is taking place as we speak. So I'll take this briefly introduce our next event. So as you can see on the back of today's brochure, the question continues, why Tokyo and why now? On October 15th, we'll take today's discussion one step further by hearing directly from the people that are driving Japan's financial markets, investment industry, and business ecosystem. The speakers shown here are just a few examples of the outstanding lineup we are preparing. Mr. Paul Shared will share his perspective on Japan policy and market outlook. Mr. Yoshio Hishida will discuss the future of Japan's investment management industry. And also, we are also especially pleased that Mr. Kazuto Uchida from GBRF will join us. GBRF, the Government Pension Investment Fund of Japan, is the world's largest pension fund. And opportunities to hear directly from GBRF at an international forum like this are very, very rare. And Ms. Rene Reedy will lead a discussion with family offices and AI founders on Japan's investment opportunities. There will also be opportunities to continue this discussion through networking with global investors and asset managers. We sincerely hope many of you will join us again in October. Thank you very much, and please enjoy the networking reception.